Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Kazuha. You have never seen him be so angry. But the first time you felt that anger come off of him was when you met with a treasure hoarder. He was trying to scam you, and Kazuha's anger could simply be felt off in waves, like it had an aura of itself. It was almost terrifying, even for you. You couldn't help but be scared, wondering what the hell was going to go down. But Kaza sensed the fact that you were scared of him after he had dealt with the criminal later on, and held your hand gently, softening his eyes that were hardened by the harsh glare that he was giving the man. Hey, I'll never hurt you. Whatever power or strength I have, their only purpose here is to protect you. Don't forget that. Albedo, you only sound truly angry after someone had hurt Klee, and he was about to lose it. Perhaps he had even gone too far in hurting them, and you were even scared, hoping that it was going to end. Not that you cared about the person who hurt Klee, but about Albedo and his conscience. But then, after it was all done and over, there was still anger lingering within him. And when he walked close to you, you flinched. Albedo noticed how scared you were. That's when he sighed deeply, looking at you with loving eyes. Even though they held anger within them, even though that the hands that went to cup your face had just hurt someone, he held you close. I want you to understand, Wyan. Don't be scared of me. I would never do anything to hurt you. Trust me on that. Please, Wyan. And though you were scared and nervous too, Albedo had never once lied to you. Venti, you've never seen him fight, and you've never seen him angry. But it all happened on one day, when one member of the Fatui had almost murdered someone from Mondstadt. Venti then appeared, and there was rage in his eyes, and he just happened to be a bystander. But he was terrifying, with the way he dealt with the situation. He had gotten rid of the Fatui in seconds, but you couldn't help but stay trembling in your position. That's until Venti noticed how scared you were, and went over to you, taking your hand in his, and helping you up. I'm sorry, Ion. Really. Please don't be scared of me. I didn't mean to act like that. But you have to understand how I feel. Any child of Mondstadt is a child of mine, and it's my duty to take care of them. So I hope you can understand my anger. But I promise you, my anger is not blind. I will never hurt you like that. That's what he said, kissing you on the cheek before leading you home. Scaramouche. Scaramouche was not usually scary, but you also remember a time when everyone, including you, were terrified of him. And that was easily something that could happen again, depending on how he acts. So actually seeing him work in action, it terrified you beyond belief. He never meant to act like this, but his anger has been getting the best of him. And that's exactly why, when he snapped at someone, you couldn't help but flinch as well, watching him from afar, and wondering if he would snap at you like this too. The way he was itching to do something, to break something around, it was a little bit scary. And that's why, when you went over to him, not even talking, he had turned to look at you, and you had immediately flinched away, apologizing for disturbing him. When he looked sad, and guilty as well. I scared you, didn't I? He said honestly. He doesn't mind actually saying his mistakes. But it still stung. And that's when he held your hand. He kissed it gently. He didn't say any words. Perhaps all he got was an apology. But he knew that he will never repeat something like that again because he cares about you and he never wants to see you be afraid. Tighnari. Tighnari was not actually the scariest person in the room. Mostly he looked too cute to be scary, but he could still be terrifying if you wanted to. And you'd only seen him like that once. The two of you were out, patrolling, and it just so happened that you were attacked. Yet the way he was so brutal with the way he attacked people too, which was something you had never seen before. Something that stunned you into silence. And when he turned around, blood on his cheeks, it looked like a scene out of a horror movie. But he quickly wiped it away, getting down on his knees and holding your hand, reassuring you that this is fine. Everything will be fine. Just trust him. You need to trust him right now, so that two of you can get home safe. Xiao, you knew he was an adeptus. You knew he could be scary sometimes, and this happened. But the fact that he acted so strangely after putting the mask on, and when he was working, it was something that was quite jarring at first. And sometimes, the karmic depth would make him act strangely as well. So one time, he even ended up lashing at you, almost hurting you in response to a simple question you had asked. He had then stared at you, and he looked terrified, before teleporting away. This happened without his own control, like there were voices in his head, like he couldn't control what he wanted to do. So he was going to stay away from you. At least, for now, until he's stabilized again. He can't hurt you. He just can't afford to. Childe. Childe was not the most scary person in the room, but you had once walked in on him, and he was covered in blood. And, seeing that he had no injuries, you could easily tell that it wasn't his. And that, you weren't sure if it reassured you or scared you more, to be honest. The fact that he'd hurt so many people, or the fact that it was so normal that he didn't even bat an eye. But you could tell you were scared. You could tell you were eyeing him with a suspicious glare. And that's why he immediately made to wash it away and held your hands in his, telling you he will keep you safe and that he will go as far as he needs to make sure that you and his family are safe. It doesn't matter if he has to dirty his own hands. And that will always be a reality, whether you like it or not. But he also assured you how he would never hurt you, and how you were the first priority for him. The only thing he wanted from you is to know the truth.